Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson by VBES Inglese per Italiani. Today's lesson is an intermediate lesson and it is for telephone English. So it is for you B1 or B2 learners who want to improve your English for using the telephone. Today's lesson consists of two parts. The first one is expressions that the caller can use and common responses in English. And then, secondly, expressions that the operator can use, the person who is receiving the call. And then common responses also in English. Don't forget, as usual, there is a free worksheet that you can download from the first comment under this YouTube video, which contains all the expressions and all the common answers that we're going to see in today's video, as well as some exercises at the end, and of course the answers for you to consolidate in your mind some of the expressions that you'll hear in today's lesson. So let's begin. We're going to start with expressions that the caller could use in English. So the first one is, I'd like to speak to Mr. Smith, please. Vorrei parlare con il signore Smith, per favore. And the common response could be, of course. May I ask who's calling? Then we could say, could you put me through to the sales department? Potrebbe passarmi al reparto vendite? And then a common answer is, one moment, I'll transfer you now. You could say, can I leave a message for her, please? Posso lasciarle un messaggio, per favore? And the common response could be, of course, go ahead. You may say, I'm calling about my order. Sto chiamando per il mio ordine. And the common response is, let me check that for you. You might say, sorry, could you repeat that please? Scusi, potrebbe ripetere per favore? And a common response could be, of course, I said the meeting is at 3 p.m. You might say, I think we have a bad connection. Penso che la linea sia disturbata. And a common response may be, let me call you back. You could say, could you spell that for me, please? Potrebbe farmi lo spelling, per favore? And you might say, or you might hear, sure, it's S-M-I-T-H. You could say, what time do you close today? A che ora chiudete oggi? And a common response may be, we close at 6 p.m. You could say, I'll call back later, thank you. Richiamerò più tardi, grazie. And you might hear, no problem, have a good day. You could say, sorry, I've dialed the wrong number, mi scusi, ho sbagliato numero. And a common response could be, no worries, goodbye. Now, let's move on to the expressions of the operator, so the person who receives the call. It could be the switchboard operator. And they might say, good morning, Verona Business English Services, how can I help you? Buongiorno, Verona Business English Services, come posso aiutarla? And you could say, I'd like some information, please. You might hear, who's calling, please? Chi parla, per favore? And you would say, this is John Smith, or obviously whatever your name is. You could hear, can you hold the line, please? Può restare in linea, per favore? And you might say, yes, of course. You could hear, I'm putting you through now. La sto passando ora. And you would say something like, thank you very much. You could hear, I'm afraid the line is busy at the moment. Temo che la linea sia occupata al momento. And you might say, I'll try again later. You could hear, could I take a message? Posso prendere un messaggio? You could say, yes, please tell her that John called, or of course your name. You might hear, I'm sorry, he's not available right now. Mi dispiace, non è disponibile al momento. And you could say, could you ask him to call me back? And at the end of the call you would hear something like, thank you for calling, goodbye, grazie per aver chiamato, arrivederci. And you would say, goodbye, thank you. You could hear, thank you for your patience, grazie per la sua pazienza. And you would say, thank you, no problem. You might also hear at the end of the call, have a nice day, goodbye, le auguro una buona giornata, arrivederci. and you would say something like, thank you, you too. So, as I mentioned, try to memorize some of these expressions and try to use them in real life calls. You can consolidate them or help to consolidate them in your memory by doing the exercises in the worksheet. I hope you found this lesson interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.